Here today we had 4 composers and 4 completely different, if you like, palettes from the orchestra. Different dynamics, different ways of expressing whatever it was, and for that particular movie and with that particular composer's the way they want. What am I trying to say is that you can take an orchestra and have it do so many things.
It went extremely well, and I think the composers acquitted themselves wonderfully. You know, one of the composers had actually never worked with orchestra before, but he's been writing music for animation for 20 years, and I think he must have been using samples and so forth, because what he brought today was, you know, perfectly conceived for orchestra. How to use the colours and so forth. And another of the composers had to write for a documentary, and I think that's a really tough one, because with documentary the drama, such as it is within the reality, so you cannot write a sort of exciting underscore as John Williams or Hans Zimmer or whatever. You have to do something much more subtle than that. And I thought she did a marvellous job on it. A third of the composers had a very charming little film, and the brief to her was to write music in a sort of 80s, slightly cartoonish style maybe, and she did that extremely well. And the fourth film was about a boy who dreams of getting into a racing car at Mondello, and does precisely that. So there's four interesting films and 4 composers.
Yeah, I was happy. It was great to hear the music come to life, and it was great that Kevin, the director, was there, and Jonathan as well, were there to see their ideas live, you know, being played by an orchestra. And it's a bit nerve-wracking. Obviously, you're always worried a little bit about orchestration or balance and things, but you're in such capable hands with Fiacre and Gavin and Brian that, like, you know you can totally trust them, and so it was such a great experience as well to be working.
I'm happy, yeah. I'm looking forward to the mix, so I can hear all the little bits, you know, in isolation, because you're concentrating so hard in the booth. You're trying to follow the score and listen to all the nuances, listen for mistakes and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to just getting to the mix point. For the last, I can't remember how long, I've always seen this program coming up, the IMRO scoring, the film program, but I've always been too busy and would have been too stressful to take on that, you know. So this year, the way projects ended up, or where they landed time-wise, I said, I'll give it a go, because I've got time, and then I was successful, which is great. So I had time to enjoy it, which is rather than just pure stress of trying to hit that deadline.
The time slot was actually not too bad. It was 90 minutes, and I kept that in mind even as I was writing the score, knowing that the time could be tight and that the music needed to be recorded and we needed to get through all the cues. So even at that stage I had an eye on the possibility of making sure that it was all finished and it all got done. And that's how it worked out. There was nothing too crazy or too complicated that would delay the whole recording process.
The wealth of talent on display is wonderful. The other wealth of talent is within the orchestra, because I think the RTÉ Concert Orchestra, I've said it before, is a national treasure, and what they bring is just so wonderful. Their enthusiasm and their anxiety to get it done and to get it done in time, as we did, and so forth. It's very good. And we had the wonderful Gavin Maloney conducting, and he was absolutely on top of the game. Engineering was the man they call Big Ears, Brian Masterson, who is not only a wonderful engineer but he's a great musician, and he was assisted by one of RTÉ's very good engineers, Mark Dwyer. So it was just a great team really, and the results are well there to show it.